Huh? Ah, where is Videsh?
Sir, this is me, sir. Videsh, sir. Sir, Surujan has not joined.
Call as per you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the grain in tray B has grown a few centimeters high, place both the trays in such a way that they are on a slope. Pour 1 mug of water from the same height into each tray. Collect the muddy water that trickles down the holes of the both trays into two separate containers. Water. Do you know in 1975 the consumption of water for human use was 3,850 CU kilometer per year. It soared to more than 6,000 CU kilometer per year in year 2000. Water is a vital renewable natural resource. 3/4 of Earth's surface is covered with water. It is therefore approximately called the water planet. It was the primitive oceans that began almost 3.5 billion years back. Even today, the oceans cover 2/3 of Earth's surface and provide a rich variety of plants and animal life. The ocean water is, however, saline and not fit for human consumption. Fresh water accounts for only 2.7%. Nearly 70% of this occurs in ice sheets and glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland, and mountain regions. Due to their location, they are inaccessible. Only 1% of fresh water is available and fit for human use. It is found as groundwater, as surface water in rivers and lakes, and as water vapor in the atmosphere. Fresh water is therefore the most precious substance on earth. Water can neither be added or not subtracted from the earth. Its total volume remains constant. Its abundance only seems to vary because it is in the constant motion cycling through the oceans. The air and land, the land and back again. Through the processes of evaporation, precipitation, and runoff, as you know already is referred to as water cycle. Humans use, sir, just move it up. Did you know a dripping tap wastes 1,200 liters of water in a year? Humans use huge amounts of water not only for drinking and washing, but also in the process for production. Water for agriculture, industries, generating electricity through reservoirs of dams, or other usages. Increasing population, rising demands for food and cash crops, increasing urbanization, and rising standards of living are the major factors leading to shortages in supply of fresh water, either due to drying up of water sources or water pollution. Do you know, have you ever heard of a water market? I'm really sitting in South Australia region with a population of 1.5 lakhs is completely dependent on purchasing water from nearby talukas. Problems of water availability. Just give me a minute.
Okay. Bidesh, please do continue reading from problems of water availability.
Yes, sir. Problems of water availability. There is scarcity of water in many regions of the world. Most of Africa, West Asia, South Asia, parts of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, parts of South America, and entire Australia are facing shortages in fresh water supply. Countries located in climatic zones most
Susceptible.
okay, sir.
Susceptible.
Susceptible to droughts face great problems of water scarcity. Thus, water shortage may be a consequence of variation in seasonal or annual precipitation, or the scarcity is caused by over exploitation and contamination of water sources. Conservation of water resources. Access to clean and adequate water source is a major problem facing the world today. Steps have been taken to conserve this dwindling resource. Even though water is a renewable resource, its overuse and pollution makes it unfit for use. Discharge of untreated or partially treated sewage, agricultural chemicals, and industrial uh, effluents in water bodies are major contaminants. They pollute water with nitrates, metals, and pesticides. Most of these chemicals are non-biodegradable and reach human bodies through water. Water pollution can be controlled by treating these effluents suitably for releasing them in water bodies. Forest and other vegetation cover slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water. Water harvesting is another method to save surface runoff. The canals used for irrigation fields should be properly lined to minimize losses by water seepage. Sprinklers effectively irrigate the area by checking water losses. Through seepage and evaporation, the dry regions with high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. The valuable water resource can therefore be conserved by adopting these means of irrigation. Natural vegetation and wildlife. Some school children were visiting an exhibition on handicrafts. The articles in the exhibition were collected from different parts of the country. Mona picked up a bag and exclaimed, "This is a beautiful handbag." "Yes, it is made from jute." The teacher said, "Do you see those baskets, lampshades, and chairs? Those are made of canes and bamboos. In the eastern and northeastern humid regions of India, bamboo grows in plenty." Jassy was excited to see a silk scarf. "See this beautiful scarf." The teacher explained that silk is obtained from silkworms that are in bred on mulberry trees. The children understood that plants provide us with many different products that we use in our day-to-day life. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere that we call biosphere. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as the ecosystem. Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Plants provide us with timber, give shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, protect soils, so essential for growing crops. Act as shelter belts, help in storage of underground water, give us fruits, nuts, latex, turpentine oil, gum, medicinal plants, and also the paper that is so essential for your studies. There are innumerable uses uses of plants, and you can add some more. Wildlife includes animals, birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life forms. They provide us milk, meat, hides, and wool. Insects like bees provide us honey, help in pollination of flowers, and have an important role to play as decomposers in the ecosystem. The birds feed on insects and act as decomposers as well. Vulture, due to its ability to feed on dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. So, animals, big or small, all are integral to maintaining balance in the ecosystem. Distribution of natural vegetation. The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forests, grasslands, scrubs, and tundra. In, in areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus associated with areas having abundant water supply. As the amount of moisture decreases, the size of trees and their density reduces. Short stunted trees and grasses grow in the regions of moderate rainfall, forming the grasslands of the world. Thorny shrubs and scrubs grow in dry areas of low rainfall. In such areas, plants have deep roots and leaves with thorny and waxy surface. Reduce, reduce loss of moisture through transpiration. Tundra vegetation of cold polar regions comprise of mosses and lichens. Today, there are many more people in the world than there were 2 centuries back. To feed the growing numbers, large areas of forests have been cleared to grow crops. Forests cover all over the world is vanishing rapidly. There is an urgent need to conserve this valuable resource. Conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Forests are our wealth. Plants give shelter to the animals, and together they maintain the ecosystem. Changes of climate and human interferences can cause the loss of natural habitats for the plants and animals. Many species have become vulnerable to or endangered, and some are on the verge of extinction. Deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fires, tsunamis, and are landslides are some of the human and natural factors which accelerate the process of extinction of these resources. One of the major concerns in the poaching, which result in a sharp decline in number of particular species. The animals are poached for collection and illegal trade of hides, skins, nails, teeth, horns, as well as feathers. Some of these animals are tiger, lion, elephant, deer, black buck, crocodile, rhinoceros, snow, leopard, ostrich, and peacock. These can be conserved by increasing awareness, National parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves are made to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. Conservation of creeks, lakes, and wetlands is necessary to save the precious resource from depletion. There is a balance in the environment. If the relative number of species is not distributed,
Yes, sir.
disturbed, human activities in several parts of the world have disturbed the natural habitats of many species. Due to Due to indiscriminate killings, several birds and animals have either become extinct or are on the verge of extinction. Awareness programs like social forestry and Vana, Vana Mahotsav, Vana Mahotsav should be encouraged at the regional and community level. School children should be encouraged to bird watch and visit nature camps so that they appreciate the habitat of varied species. Many countries have passed laws against the trade as well as killing of birds and animals. In India, killing lions, tigers, deers, great Indian bustards, and peacocks is illegal. And international conventions, city, CITES, has been established that lists several species of animals and birds which trade is prohibited. Conservation of plants
Excuse me.
and animals is an ethical duty of every citizen.
Okay. Sujan, can you start resume reading from here?
Ah,
Yeah, read.
Do you know CIT is the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora is an international agreement between governments. It aims to ensure that international trade in specimens of wild animals and plants does not threaten their survival. Roughly 5,000 species of animal and 28,000 species of plants are protected. Bears, dolphins, cacti, corals, orchids, and aloes are some examples.
Very good. So almost we
I
have
would
done.
say Vitesh, too much.
Okay. So the thing is that you both have read very well. Right. So I just want you to you people should read all the all the content given in the text, so that a kind of a deep reading activity or active reading activity should be present here. Okay, no issue. We'll start discussion elaborately on this particular topic in our next class. As we have already done a reading of it, we simply go for the discussion of it, isn't it? But let me point out also, you also understand that before I make you understand, you must read it and also make a kind of
Understand it beforehand.
make a summary of it, make a short summary of it, right? So whatever the main points you have understood, whatever the key points that you find out from the text, make a note of it. Can you create a note of it? Can you create a note of it?
of course, sir, we are class 8, sir. Now we will not create notes, sir. What will we do in class 8?
Huh? What you are saying? Bidhu Babu, what you are saying?
Sir, I am saying, sir, we are already in class 8, no, sir. Now, if we don't know how to create notes, sir, what students will we be, sir?
Now I'm asking that can you create it or not? You might know,
Obviously,
but
sir. Yes, sir.
you might know, but the problem is called as a you will be reacted as a what laziness or certain things actually make you disinterest to do that. So that's why I asked. Okay, fine, guys. We'll meet in the next class. As we have already done the reading activity, we need to go for the understanding of it. Okay, tell me that with this you have read, right? You have read. So What are the things that you find out means in the case study? What does the case study try to tell us? What do you mean by case study?
Sir, means getting an idea about the chapter. What does it try to means? What is the main focus of the chapter?
Like, do you understand the meaning of case study?
No, sir.
What is that? Why case study is given here? What is the job of giving, whether you know it or not, let's do or not, glossary items? Why they have been given, which you skipped and Sweden did not? Huh? Vidhi Babu? Ponda Babu?
Sir, what?
So you left some of the glossary, some of the knowing facts, right? Well, some of the
No, sir.
yeah, yeah.
Those. Oh, yes.
Okay, fine. Why they have been given? They have been given with a certain purpose that they are asking about the certain points. Okay, no issue. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, bye-bye. Good night. Have your dinner. Sleep tight. Have your dinner. Sleep tight. And Bidesh and Ponda Boy, Nongo Pongo, enjoy your days.
Bidesh Pongo.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, sir. Have a nice day.
Bye, sir. Good night, sir.